What's going on, everybody? In this video we're going to be changing out the valve cover gasket in my 96 Honda Accord. I have a few extra steps than you guys just because mine's turbo and I have some catch can lines on the valve cover, but basically the same process. I'll show you guys how to do it and the actual proper way to put the Honda bond on the corners, which you need to do because I have had this gasket that's on the car right now leak on two separate occasions. I think it's now just leaking because it's old. So I'm going to show you guys how to do this the proper way with a new gasket. I did reuse the gasket in the past and not have issues, but the past couple of times that I've tried to reuse it, I had issues. So I got a new Felpro gasket here. I didn't end up going with the OEM Honda one because this kit that I wanted, that came with all the spark plug tube seals, with these guys right here, the spark plug seals. And these are actually the seals for the rocker arm assembly. When you torque that down, this also is for the spark plug tube, but I don't believe mine are leaking, so I'm going to leave those on mine. I'll show you guys what you would need to do to change them. There's more steps, but new washers for the top, and yeah, so we should be good to go. Hopefully we do fix our oil leak. So we're here in the engine bay. Your car might not look like this, but it's going to be exactly the same. You got some catch can fittings on here for your turbo setup. Yeah, it doesn't come with that, but all we need to do is take all these spark plug wires off, and then I think I might actually tape up my valve cover here to avoid breaking anything. I'm probably gonna undo these connectors right here. These guys just pull off like that and like this, and then that'll get out of the way and we can pull all these guys out. I'll just do it with you guys here just so you can see. But you guys in a stock vehicle might have lines running to here that are going to come off of the intake manifold. You're going to have your PCV system, so you'll just have to pull that out. That just comes right out. And then there's another one on the back here that I plugged, but this one normally goes to the intake over here. There's like a little thing, so you'll pull that off and pull those off. And then we still have to pull this ground off of the valve cover here. That's just a 10. And yeah, then we're good to go. We'll just take these 4 10s off and this thing will come right apart. So I like to leave all the wires together like this so you know where everything goes. That way you can't possibly mess it up when it goes back together. So we'll lay those over there for now. And this guy, we can just tuck him on the other side here. And yeah, so hopefully it's not too windy and you guys can hear me, but I'm going to pull these catch can lines off and this 10 and then these 4 10s, and this guy will come off, and then we can get into how we're going to clean the surface of the cylinder head to make it ready for our Honda bond to go in there. Alright, so don't laugh, but I don't want to ruin my paint job, so I did put all this tape all over everything just so I make sure I don't scratch anything. And I dropped this nut down there, and a magnet is nice to have, so I'm going to put that over here. I took my fittings off here for the catch can, and it looks like they're leaking a little bit, which I kind of knew because I could see it underneath, but this one kind of has like a bunch of nastiness on it, so I don't know, we're gonna have to see if I can tighten them a little more. I think they were bottomed out, but yeah, so I got all 4 of these nuts out here, 1 2 3 4, so this thing is loose. So I'm gonna put the camera down and show you guys me taking this thing off. Also did the ground. And everything else is disconnected, so it should just pop right off. Alright, so you guys can see here we got the old gasket which stayed stuck to yeah, so you can see our Honda bond in there is sticking pretty good, but apparently it wasn't sealing. I don't know how, because this is actually where we were leaking from, and I'm actually curious, maybe it's the cam cap itself. I don't think so, but occasionally these cam caps do leak, and maybe you have to take off the whole rocker arm assembly and then actually throw a little bit of Honda bond right here in this cam cap area, which I didn't do. And I've seen that some people end up doing that. So if this thing still leaks, we're going to have to pull it apart again and seal that cam cap. But yeah, I got all the Honda bond pulled off, so we got the old seal pulled right out. And I'll bring that in the garage, probably save it, but I don't think I'm gonna use that ever again, just because I like to hoard parts. But what I'm gonna do is go through, clean up all the oil on the surface here, and maybe use a little bit of brake cleaner, parts cleaner, clean all that stuff up, and get the Honda Bond out of there too with like a pick. I'll scrape it out, being careful not to drop any pieces of Honda Bond into the cylinder head. But yeah, as far as everything in here, you can inspect your camshaft, which mine looks really good. I really have minimal scoring for something with 190,000 miles. And I pulled it apart, put it back together multiple times, so I think we're doing pretty good. But yeah, this is going to give me a chance to clean up. So I'm going to pull all these chunks of Honda Bond out of here and get rid of them. And after I clean it all up with some brake clean, I'll show you guys exactly what it looks like and how clean it is. And I'll show you guys how we're going to put on this new gasket so that it seals really good. So a couple of things you want to be mindful of here is don't let anything fall in the motor, like I think I already said, but I'm saying it again. And yeah, also I think it's about to rain, so don't let water get in there. And you want to clean off any remaining Honda Bond here. I think I already said that though. So we're covered on this. I cleaned it all up. This is looking pretty good except for the Honda Bond there. I'll clean that off in a sec. But inside, I took the valve cover inside. Alright, so we're looking at the underside of the valve cover here. And there was like some black crud in here that I scraped out with a screwdriver. And you kind of want the inside edge here to be very clean. So mine's pretty cleaned up. I wiped through it with a rag and everything. So I got it as clean as I possibly could. And yeah, yours might not look this clean inside. If yours is stock and has this baffle here, so you'll have a big baffle there. But for me, I didn't have that because I took that out so I could have these welded in. But yeah, so I took out the spark plug tube seals here. Just two of them. This one I cleaned up, got all the oil out of the bottom there. This one still has the oil in the bottom, so I'm going to clean all those out too, press the new ones in. I don't think mine were leaking, but with my luck they'd start leaking right now, and I have new ones, so I'm just going to throw them in. But I cleaned that out pretty good in there, and now I'm just going to press this guy in, and that's pretty much it right there. That's ready. It definitely feels a bit more proud, like it sticks out more compared to these, because these have been used a few times. So yeah, I'm going to change all those out, and then we should have hopefully a good seal everywhere. Okay, so it can be tricky to get the gasket on because they do seem a little big. They always seem a little stretched out to me, but if you're careful and you take your time, you can get it pressed in everywhere. Just keep working it around till you get it all centered. And yeah, this is, you know, eventually it will go into place, and we are in place right now. If you have problems with it falling off, what you could do is take a little bit of spray adhesive and spray it on the inside of the valve cover, all in the channel. Not too much, just mist it like that, and then put the gasket this side down on something, and then mist the back of that, and then hopefully it'll, you know, stick when you put it in. It's contact adhesive, you let it tack up and stick, and then it should stay, you know, for you. But I don't think I'm gonna have a problem. This thing's in there pretty good. I'm gonna hold it by these guys while I lower it down onto the car, and then once I put it on the car, I will put our new washers with our rubber seals on and torque this thing down. I think the torque spec is somewhere around 100 inch-pounds or 115 or something like that. But I'm just gonna hit it with my wrench, my electric ratchet, and that should be plenty. Yeah, you don't want to snap off one of these. I mean, if you do, it's not a big deal. You just go to the junkyard and you can pick one up for pretty cheap, get a stud or something off of one. But yeah, we're ready to go here. So I'm going to show you guys where to put the Honda Bond, and then I'm going to go ahead and throw this thing on. So we got the Honda Bond right here, and I'm going to go ahead and unclog this tip because it gets all hard in there. So what you really want to do here is put Honda Bond in all four corners. So I'll put some right here. You don't need a lot, but you do want enough so that it sticks, but you don't want it to ooze out like crazy. So that's plenty right there. Then I'm going to go ahead and put some in the back. got that one done. And this is the one that's leaking, so I'm going to run the Honda Bond out a little further, just in case it is that cam cap. Not that it's necessarily going to seal it, but we're going to try. Alright, and then the last one in the back. And the key here is to make sure that everything's very clean, because if it's clean, then the Honda Bond's going to stick to it. If you notice your Honda Bond's not sticking, you probably have some oily residue, and you should probably clean it some more. So I think we are good to go on that. And we're going to go get our valve cover really quick and slap it down and torque it down, because this stuff dries pretty quick. Alright, so got everything all torqued down. You can see we have a good amount of ooze out from our Honda Bond. That's the little extra that I put. But back here you can see the ooze out. I really like this Felpro seal because it looks like it extends a lot further than the other crap seal I had on here. So I think we're going to be good. Yeah, so we really should wait for this to dry before you actually drive it and get oil everywhere. So I am going to wait. I'll drive the car tomorrow, and I did try to clean up most of the oil on the side of the transmission here. It was leaking all down the side here. It looked like it was getting onto the clutch line, coming down and following that and going down the back of the trans too, making it look like an axle seal leak. So there's plenty of things that can look like certain things, but if you go all the way up and you see that your valve cover's leaking, do that first, because that could fix all your problems, because it can look like it's leaking from a lot of different places if it comes from the valve cover. It has channels that route it down the engine, so you know, Honda planned for these things. It's pretty innovative, honestly, for the time. But yeah, so what I'm going to do is just throw the spark plug wires back into place here, and we should be good to go, because I already cleaned the valve cover up. I gave it a nice wax job because it looks really good when I wax it. So yep, just going to pop all those guys back in and throw these clips back on like this, and then we are good to go, guys. So hopefully you learned something from this on how to put on a valve cover the correct way, because you really need the Honda Bond there or you're probably going to have a leak. But that's all there really is to it. It's very simple. You guys may have, like I said, a few more things to disconnect here, but I did not in my case. So yeah, hopefully you learned something. Peace out. Thanks for watching.